Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Welcome to Africa Diaspora News Channel. My name is Lynient Akotonou. On April 3rd, 2025, during a meeting of the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee in Washington, D.C., General Michael Langley, the commander of U.S. Africa Command, responded to Senator Roger Wicker, stating that the Burkinabe government is only interested in exploiting the gold and natural resources in Burkina Faso for its own gain, rather than improving the lives of the people in Burkina Faso. Let's watch the video.
In a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
In return, Burkina Faso released a press statement to these allegations, I must say. Let's read it. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Burkina Faso Citizens Abroad followed with great interest the public session held on April 3rd, 2025 by the United States Senate Committee on Armed Services, devoted to hearing senior military officials from U.S. commands for Europe, U.S. EUCOM, and for Africa, U.S. AFRICOM. At this session, answering a question not directly related to Burkina Faso, General Michael Langley, commander of U.S. AFRICOM, made some regrettable comments, to say the least, with serious inaccuracies about Burkina Faso and its government, without supporting his statement with the slightest evidence. By claiming that Burkina Faso's mineral resources, as well as certain revenues from cooperation with the People's Republic of China, might not be beneficial to the population and might rather serve to protect the regime in power, General Langley is taking a stand, deliberately ignoring this new sovereignty momentum of Burkina Faso. Such unsubstantial, unfounded, and eminently political comments are all the more worrying because they were made within a parliamentary body as prestigious as the U.S. Senate by a senior military official. The ministry hereby protests strongly against this wrong statement with no aim rather than harming the image of the government of Burkina Faso, especially for efforts made in the fight against corruption and in defending the interests of the Burkina Faso people. Two major priorities of the president of Burkina Faso, His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traore. The ministry formally denies such allegations. Concrete actions conducted on the ground show the sincere commitment of the Burkina Faso authorities to fostering inclusive and sustainable development. Far-reaching reforms have been undertaken in the areas of agriculture, water, infrastructure, education, and health to improve the distribution of resources that will benefit populations. Since he took office, His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traore worked resolutely to improve public governance. All revenues from mining are now returned to the state coffers and are being rigorously and transparently managed under the national budgets. General Langley should have rather focused on his area of expertise by providing the members of the Senate Committee with a more balanced analysis of the causes that led to Burkina Faso to review some military cooperation agreements in respect of its sovereignty. He could also have highlighted the significant progress made by the Defense and Security Forces, supported by the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP, in the fight against terrorism, with the support of sincere partners complying with the will of the Burkina Faso people. Finally, the ministry reiterates the importance of open and constructive dialogue and urges the appropriate communication channels be used to foster a fair and objective understanding of the situation and new momentum prevailing in Burkina Faso. Well, that was a long read, but it was worth it. What concerns the US government with what is going on in Burkina Faso? And the thing is, this comes shortly after it was reported that Captain Ibrahim Traore demanded France to return all the gold that belongs to Burkina Faso back to Burkina Faso. And now we see this. They did not even talk about the fact that France have some of Burkina Faso's gold, yet they talked about the gold that are in Burkina Faso that are being used by those in power, which absolutely is not true. We've seen the reforms and the innovative things that are going on in Burkina Faso. Do you want to talk about education, the infrastructure? Is it health? Is it the agricultural sector? There are numerous things we could name and count that we see that Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing. How then do these guys not see these things that he is doing and claim that he is siphoning the resources gotten from all this? I don't understand. What's their aim? Are they saints now? Now, are they free of corruption and loopholes here and there? That they are looking to find a fault or find faults in Captain Ibrahim Traore's government? And so what's their aim exactly? Find fault in the government of Burkina Faso in order to find a way to infiltrate? We are grateful that Captain Ibrahim Traore is dogged and he will not allow external influence. Because tell me why. All of a sudden, when he stood up to France to bring back the gold, we are hearing that they said they are not using the gold properly. But they, the US, cannot talk about the fact that France also has some of Burkina Faso's gold. Now, that's not balanced enough. That's not fair. And we know where this is driving at. But thankfully, they will not prevail in any scheme, any of that scheme or any of that plot. I mean, this man is doing well. We've seen the various things he has done. Now, even if the government of the day is embezzling funds or siphoning funds, if you feel the government of Burkina Faso is siphoning funds, so long this young man is doing right by his people. I mean, the infrastructures is something we can see, something the citizens can attest to. Now, if this young man was not doing well, trust me, they would have succeeded in their coup and plot against him, their assassination plans and whatsoever against him. You won't tell me a young man is standing, the whole Burkinabe soldiers are standing by him, solidly behind him, just because he's siphoning and embezzling funds. No! If he wasn't doing well, someone would have snitched this young man. Yes, someone would have sold Burkina Faso. But guess what? They cannot find their way into Burkina Faso because he is doing well. Should we talk about Nigeria? If Nigeria government was actually embezzling funds, we know they're embezzling funds, right? And they're also doing well for the people. I'm telling you, Nigerians wouldn't complain. If life was easy for the people and the government of the day is still embezzling funds, the people wouldn't complain. But here you are embezzling funds, and you're not even making life easy for the people, and you want us to back you up as Nigerian government. No, but this young man is doing well. So how dare the US make such allegations? Well, what do you think about this story? Comment below and do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button.